What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. It's your boy Terabyt Reacts in the house, man. We're about to embark on the finale of Mob Psycho 100. Hopefully you guys hit that like button. Don't forget to do that, man. We're just gonna jump in. I want to spend too much time on the intro. Just remember to hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on. If you're watching on the original channel, go to the backup channel. Link is down in the description. Terabyts and Gaming. Subscribe, turn on notifications over there if you want to know when these episodes come out. As well as, for those of you guys who don't know, okay, those of you guys who don't know, if you want to support the channel, make sure you go and you sign up for membership. You can do $1, you can do $2, you can do $5. Each level has their perks. Of course, that's on the original channel. Link is also down in the description. Make sure you get that done. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Let's jump into the episode, and I will see you guys at the end, where I will have I think I'm gonna do a season review instead of a series review, because I don't remember if this is the end of it, or it was only 2 seasons of Mob Psycho, or is there more. I'm still not 100% sure, but I'm gonna do a season review. I'll talk about the series, but I'll do a season review instead of a series review, because I don't think this is the end of it. I think there's more to come, because I don't think this is where the actual story ends. But we'll see how it goes, because if they take out Claw, then I'll probably do a series review. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll look it up to see if that was the final thing, because I know there's only 2 seasons out. I don't know if there's more to come, because regardless of it, we'll see how it goes. If anything, I'll change it to a series review after I find out or something. I don't know. Let's jump into the episodes. Ew. Ah. Damn. Did he just one hit that dude?
んたは別に植物が好きじゃないんだね。うん、ただの道具だよ。行け落とせ。ネギさんに加勢しろ。念動力をぶつけるんだ。長いものには巻かれるものだよ。君もこっち側につけばいい。それは楽かもしれないけど楽しくないな。もう力の差は分かったはずだけど、これ以上痛い目にあってもその考えは変わらないのかな。ずっと超能力を使いたいと思っていた。でもこの力に覚醒してからやっと分かった。楽しく生きるために悩み、汗をかき、涙を流す。僕が本当に手に入れたかったのはそのひたむきさだったんだ。楽しく生きたい、そこだけは譲れない。うちには向いてないかもしれませんね。ならばここで痛い。初めてヒットしたぜ。いやはや想定以上の仕事さ。さっきはよくもやってくれたな。ドブネズミ改めゴキブリですね。なんだこの声。趣味悪いな。ダメ、それだけは私の手にも余る。触るな。バカ、俺たちには峯岸さんがいるんだよ。なんだ、なぜ倒れ。なんだ、野上さん。まずい。なんだこれは。孤独の次は超能力者の群れを食えということか。質の低い者たちだ。なんだこれは。植物の制御が効かない。
That stuff only makes him stronger, dude.
やめろ。なぜ止める。見ていたが生かしといてもしょうがないクズどもだ。恩を売ったところで変わらない人間もいる。でも変われるかもしれない。もう悪いことしないって約束してくれ。約束する。助けてくれ。ほら、その場しのぎの嘘だったら、こいつらが更生するまで君が面倒を見るのか。監視し続けられると。それはできないよ。でも人が生きるには信じるしかないんだ。それができなくちゃ何も始まらないだろう。
Facts.
君らしいな。だが優しさだけでは解決できないこともある。時に人に厳しくするのも必要だ。そうなれば君は誰にも負けない。影山茂雄君。今度こそ最上は消滅したのか。それとも人に厳しくか。苦手だな。
Sometimes people need tough love.
ここまで20年かかったんだぞ。さあまあ見やがれ。その20年を台無しにしてやったぜ。俺はもう5丁並みに強くなった。ともまともに戦え。笑わせるな。親を見くびるなよ。近づくだけで発動するクソ強力なバリア。それがてめえの本当の能力か。それなら。
Yo! I was saying that this dude looked like he got no power, but yo, he's the leader for a reason.
しているものだと思っていたぞ。光の屈折率をいじれるようになったか。これが俺のとっておきだ。3ヶ月貯めたエネルギー。超人ボム。さあ、正義は勝つ。
I don't think so, buddy. Oh, he saved him.
問題ない。ちょっとした反抗期なだけだ。またぐれてるのかい。そんなんじゃろくな大人になれないぞ。そうか、今のは3ヶ月分だぞ。喧嘩はこの辺にして仲良く世界征服しようよ。余計な世話を焼くな。
ショーが反対する理由もわからなくはない。失敗を恐れているんだろう。お前は外の世界を知らないからな。私が世界を回った真の目的は、世界征服が現実にできるかどうか見定めるためだ。結果、世界に私より強い能力者は誰一人存在しなかった。最高の力を持っているのは私だ。
イコール世界を征服できるって答えになるのかよ。聞いたか芹沢。やっぱりこの男はどうかしてる。
社長、かっけえ。
強力なバカが一番厄介だ。
先ほどの攻撃は見直したぞ。やはり親子は似るものだな。
一緒にすんな。どこがだ。
エネルギーを3ヶ月貯めたと言っていたな。私も同じ能力を持っている。
何。
話しただろう。私はここまでの準備に20年かけたと。
まさかその準備って兵隊集めじゃなくて。
20年だ。少し見せてやろうか。
まずは君を徹底的に叩く。
まずいね。壊される。どうすればいいんだ。
そろそろおしまいですね。
Oh.
相手の動きを読めるのは便利かもしれないけど、あんたの動きも単調になるんだよ。能力に頼りすぎてる。
驚きましたね。一応ボスを除けば世界一の自負があるのですが。
世の中にはいるんだよ。想像も及ばない力を持つ人が。あんたも凡人なんだな。どうやら僕でも倒せそうだ。
やっぱり気がされた瞬間だ。
ナイスだ、弟くん。
Ah! Woo! Yo!
集中すれば全てわかる。この場にいる全員が超能力者。それ以外は一切遮断。集中集中。マインズアイ。
Oof. Oh, he's a problem, man. Sheesh, he's a
ど
problem.
んな手立ても私には通じません。ダメージや本人でさえ知らないだろう弱点、そのほとんど霞んだ面も全てが手に取るようにわかります。後悔してももう遅いですよ。
どうした。
何かが、強大なエネルギーを持つ何かが近づいてきている。
Hmm?
それはきっと僕の知人だな。やっと起きたんだね、影山くん。
面白い。果たしてどちらの能力が上か勝負です。正面から迎え撃ってあげましょう。正当防衛。何者だ。
レーゲンさん。
みんな
Oh my god.
大先生。まさか虫の境地まで気配を消せるエスパーが存在するのか。どうする。引くべきか。
師匠、その人かなり強いですよ。危険だから離れてください。
さっきの少年に得体の知れないエスパー、一体どれだけ大きな組織でもあるというのか。何よりこの少年、桁違いだ。やっぱりやめだ。割に合わない。降参します。
お、えらくあっさりしてるな。世界征服の意気込みはどこ行った。
本気なのはボスだけですよ。
私は楽しければ何だっていいんです。
楽しければいいだって。それで多くの人に迷惑をかけたのか。ふざけるな。
逃げやがった。
さて、残るはラスボスだけかな。星野くんたちがみんなを救出してる頃だし、合流して突入しよう。
ダメだよ。みんな怪我だらけじゃないか。僕一人で行くから。
影山くん、何を言ってるんだい。
僕も行くよ。仲間が先に突入してるんだ。ダメ。厳しいこと言うと足手まといなんだ。ごめん。
人に厳しく最上の言葉を茂雄なりに解釈した結果か。
エクモ、頼むぞ。
分かってるよ。お前一人で怖くないのか。
怖いよ。でもこれ以上誰かが傷つけられる方が怖い。まあ、なんとかやってみるよ。
やべえな。ガキの血にうまく取り入ろうってのに、茂雄のやつうかうかしてると大人になっちまう。
君中学生？嫌だな。まだ子供じゃないか。特に今は他人が悪いんだよね。お願いだから帰ってくれないかな。帰ってくれ。怪我させたくないんだよね。このおじさん連れて帰っていいから。一応人質なんだけど、ちょっとかわいそうだし。
総理大臣の人だ。
あんた総理大臣なの？言っていいのか？どうぞ。
The hell happened?
総理大臣と会話しちゃったよ。
犯行の当事者なのに知らなかったのか。
俺テレビとか見ないし。そっか。俺たちは世間じゃ悪者扱いなんだな。
っていうか悪者ですよ。街を壊したい。
大丈夫だよ。大半の人は避難済みだったって社長も言ってたし。
社長？
俺を雇ってくれた人だよ。俺を腐ったドブ沼の底から救い上げてくれたんだ。安心しろ。私のそばにいれば大丈夫だ。力の使い方を教えてやる。以来、俺はこの爪の幹部社員として社会に復帰できたというわけだ。
おかしい話だな。僕でもそれがおかしな話だってわかる。それって利用されてるだけなんじゃないかな。
I know.
茂雄がそれを言うか。
なんてひどいことを言うんだ、君は。
ひどいのはそっちだ。こんなことをするなら引きこもってる方が全然いいよ。この顔が浮かばないのか。
社長は世界征服に犠牲はつきものだと言ってたな。
自分もそう思うの。
ああ、帰ってくれねえかな。
芹沢さん、あんたついていく人を間違えたよ。
大丈夫か？
あの傘。
ああ、とんでもないパワーをまとってるぜ。
この傘の中にいれば俺は安心なんだ。
あの傘を奪えば
戦力を失うってか。
金縛りは効かないよ。
痛い。
ごめん、大丈夫かい？
あ、嘘か。今だ、エクモ。
よし来た。一瞬傘を失っただけで今のありさまかよ。
きっと不安でしょうがないんだよ。やっと現れた理解者なんだ。すがりつくしかない。その心の隙間につけ込まれたらきっとひとたまりもない。教えてあげなきゃ。あんたの社長は安心を与えてくれたんじゃなくて、自分一人じゃ生きていけないっていう不安を与えて組織に縛り付けてるんだ。
君はカウンセラーか？
社会復帰なんてできない。むしろこのままじゃ余計に取り返しがつかなくなる。
未来ある若者が知ったように喋ってくれるな。だったらどうしろって言うんだ。生まれつきの特性を誰にも理解されず、気味悪がられて暴走して迷惑をかけて蔑まれてまた暴走して母ちゃんを吹っ飛ばしたことだってあるんだ。いつ暴走するのか自分でもわからない。特に に人と話すことができなかった。俺はただなんというか、どんな仲間が欲しかった。ここには仲間がいるんだ。同じような超能力者が君にはわからない。
わかるさ。そんなの仲間じゃない。僕には仲間がいいからね。だからわかる。そんなの仲間じゃない。
何回も言うな。やべえぞ茂雄、すんげえエネルギーだ。この先へは行かせない。社長の命令だ。社長は俺を信頼しているんだ。
いや、そんなの信頼関係じゃない。あんたは都合よく利用されてるんだ。
違う。社長は俺の存在価値を見出してくれたんだ。
でもあんたの人間味は見てない。
人間味。
怪我させたくないって言ってたじゃないか。僕と同じだ。本当は気づいてるはずだ。自分が間違ってること。
うるさーい。
だったら僕があなたの友達になる。
Whoops.
俺のエネルギーを吸収しているのか。
感情が伝わってくる。なんて悲しいエネルギーだ。
自分の力に変換したのか。
いや、返すよ、芹沢さん。
なんだこれは。そうか、彼も俺と同じ。
Friendship?
何者だ。
彼はあんたの暴走に悩んでいたんだ。僕にはわかる。僕の弟も僕に怯えていたから。こいつ変わったな。
他人の家庭内事情を知ってるような口ぶりだな。
芹沢さんに聞いた。息子が父親を止めようとしていること。返り討ちになっている様子が見るに耐えなくて階段を降りてきたこと。仲裁できなかった自分が情けなくて消えたくなったこと。
芹沢が負けたというのか。奴手を抜いたな。
違うよ。勝つとか負けるとか、人と人との関係はそればっかりじゃないんだよ。
俺を部屋から出してくれたのは社長だ。感謝はしてる。でもどうして人を傷つける必要があるんだろう。深く悩むことが怖くて逃げていたけど、裏で誰かが泣いてまで得られる充実なんて最初から求めていなかった。気づかせてくれてありがとう。やはりクズは一生クズのままか。まあいい。最初から他人など当てにしていない。人とのつながりなど意味のないものだ。私は一人で存在が完成しているのだから。
それは違う。誰だって人は多くの人と関わって成長していくんだ。人には人が必要なんだ。いつか誰かが必要になる。きっとその時には後悔するんだ。だからもし相談相手がいないのなら、僕が。
私の相談相手にそういうことは他の弱者とやってくれ。
リツの兄貴、奴はエネルギーを他人に与えたり奪ったりできる。それに加えて大量のエネルギーのストックがある。こっちはもうガス欠で動けもしねえってのに。
これで動けるようになる。
これは
私と同じ力。
動ける。
ああ、なんとか立てるぜ。
よかった。じゃあ君も避難してよ。僕はもう少しある。
お前を敵とみなす。
やめろ。
引っ込んでろ。こいつは私の天敵になりうる。
やめろ。僕は話し合いに来たんだ。おい。
ショーのために怒っているのかやはりお前は子供だ。
静かにしてろ。
力を出してみろ。
Eee!
そこで見ていろ。これが弱者の末路だ。しかしこの程度で私に説教していたのか。冗談だろ。
動くな。弾は入ってるぜ。
桜井の呪眼か。私には脅しにもならんぞ。
おう、モブ。
お前からは何の力も感じない。引っ込んでいた方が身のためだぞ。まだ私の恐ろしさが理解できんだし。
おい、生きてるか、モブ。お前一人で行かせるなんてどうかしてたな。非日常的な状況で思考力が落ちてたみたいだ。師匠として情けない。よく頑張った。帰りにたこ焼きをおごってやる。
師匠だと。私の力すら見えていないよ、お前が。つまりお前も人を騙して搾取する側の人間ということか。
皮肉なもんだ。俺から言わせりゃお前の方こそ見えない力しか見えてないかわいそうなやつだよ。
どういう意味だ。
人が持つ優れた力ってのは超能力だけじゃないってことだよ。お前を倒す方法もざっと思いつくだけで4通りあるし。
おう、試してみるといい。
そんな気はもうない。俺から頼みが一つ。仲間に入れてくれないか。
私に何の得がある。
そこに倒れてる弟子も外の連中も俺ならうまく説得できる。十分メリットになるだろう。
私を倒す方法とやらも聞いておこう。本当にあるのならな。
超能力以外のあんたの知らない力についての知りよう。まず一つ目、超能力者が最も警戒すべき人間の力。それは腕力でバカ
このガキの師匠を名乗るだけはくだらん指定コンビだ。
待て、参った。要望があれば何でも聞こう。
私をここまで不快にさせるとは。
いや、だから話をやめ。何が起きてるんだ。レーゲンさん。
He brought the umbrella. Oh, he saved them.
俺も今度は勇気を出してみたよ、社長。芹沢、完全に裏切ったか。ならばお前も。
もういい。もう話さなくていい。
Rage. We've been waiting, baby. Let's go.
人の気持ちがわからないやつはまあいい。たまには怪我して学べ。これを兄さんだ。モブが切れた。
俺も何か協力できるかな。
芹沢さん、師匠たちを連れてここから避難して。
制裁が先だ。
Man, if you don't get back.
兄さんは
私はまだ 10% の出力だ。
10%.
それが 100% なのか。なんだありゃ。なるほどな。これに意識を向けていたのか。
これで思う存分ぶつけられる。この力、この怒りを。
Oh, yeah.
力、この怒りを。
終わりか。面白くなってきたじゃないか。お前も楽しんでいるのだな。
愚かなやつなんだ。ほんの一瞬でもこの暴れる力に流されてしまうなんて。
情緒不安定なやつめ。そんな様子ではどこまで行ってもお前は私までたどり着けまい。私が世界一だ。
どうしてあんたの人生はそんなに虚しいものになってしまったんだろう。でも僕にはその生き方を責めることができない。あんたは運が悪かったんだ。
何を言ってる。私ほど運に恵まれた者は他にいないだろう。天が与えたこの力、お前たちは世界の主役である私を引き立てる早くに過ぎない。
そうか。だったら足りなかったのは運じゃない、縁だ。
何？
あんたの世界にはあんた一人しかいなかったんだ。圧倒的に孤独な人間。僕にもわかる。思い出したくもない孤独な世界。
わからないな。なぜ泣く必要がある？
信じてもらえないかもしれないけど、本当はあんたも傷つけたくないんだ。ごめん。何がどうなってんだ。
俺様に聞くな。
Yo, what?
出てきたら爆発。爆発する。あ、爆発する。逃げて、みんな逃げて。モブ生きてたか。あの人は力を出しすぎて自滅しました。大出血じゃねえか。師匠、逃げてください。残ったのは膨大なエネルギー。多分爆発が起きます。それも大爆発が。
僕らじゃ防げないってことだね。急ごう。
オーリス走ろうぜ。ここじゃ巻き込まれちまう。
あれは社長が最後の光だ。世界征服を目指した社長の。走れ、死ぬぞ。あれ、おい、ヒゲはどこ行った？
は？
お前の判断は正しい。回避は間に合わん。爆発を起こす前にエネルギーの発生源である私の命を絶つしか。何をしている？
爆発を止める。
結局お前は私を倒すことも仲間を助けることも 自らを守ることもできないのだな。お前の力ならもっとうまくやれたはずだ。
力を持ってるだけじゃうまくいかないよ。でもそれでいいんだ。大事な部分を自分で選んで生きてさえいれば、僕の人生の主役は僕だから。だから自分で選んでここに来た。いくら嫌いな相手でもたった一人で苦しんでいるなんてやっぱりかわいそうだし、だから助ける。
そんな汚い猫を拾ってきてどうする気だ。
だって雨の中震えててかわいそうなんだもの。それにほら、きっとショーも優しい子になるわ。あなたを見て育つんだからね。優しく優しくよ。どうしてあんな乱暴なやり方をしたの？
組織を統制するには圧倒的な力を見せつけてやった方がいい。
超能力じゃ人の心は動かせない。
いや、力は絶対だ。この力があれば人はついてくる。
誰でもそう思うの？
ああ、ショーも私の力に憧れを抱いている。
さよなら。
Damn.
私はいつか
吸収すれば両生、これでお前が謝りたかったんでしょ。だったらちゃんと伝えなきゃダメだよ。そうだ、僕だって気持ちを伝えたい人がいるんだ。
してよかったよ。たまげたな。とにかくここを離れた方が良さそうだ。歩けるか？
はい、みんな怪我が治ってるんだよ。服はボロボロだけど。
本当だ。ネオ、その左胸どうした？えらく強気なファッションだな。
まったく、君はいつも僕の想像を超えてくるな。
Did he absorb
ラ
him?
イバルだと思ってるんだ。あまり遠い存在にならないでくれよ。
この地面、コンクリートじゃない。頭がぼーっとする。空が狭い。ここはどこだろう。
出口だ。落下物に気をつけろよ。
静かだ。報道ヘリとか飛んでないんですね、意外と。
そりゃそうだ。不用意に近づくには得体が知れなすぎ。
大爆発にしては無事だけど、どういうこと？
お前、あの時はもうダメかと思ったぞ。爆心地は絶望的な状況だろうと。なんだありゃ。だがそこに現れたのは、おい、兄さん、大丈夫？もしかしてどこか痛めたままなんじゃ？
ありがとう、リツ。体は無事なんだけど、最近大きな力を使った後は起きてられなかったりするんだ。
途中まで僕が運ぶから寝てていいよ。
でも運ぶって言っても家は。
悪い、全焼した家の修復はこいつがするから3日ほど待っててくれ。
お前ら俺んち来るか？ちょっと狭いけどなんとかなるだろう。露骨に嫌そうな顔すんなよ。
僕は大丈夫です。
その前に学校寄ってもいいですか？
こんな時間にか？
部室に替えのジャージがあるはずなので。
何なんすかね、これ。近くで見ると改めてわけわかんない。
何がどうなったらこんなものができるんですかね。
そんなの決まってるでしょ。宇宙人よ。
Oh my god.
これはもしや教祖様の見業では。すごい野菜みたい。
It's like a giant broccoli.
モブ君関係よね。これ
すごいじゃないか。あの巨大植物を君たちが。
まあ直接俺たちがやったかっていうとちょっと違うけど、俺たちがやったようなもんだな。
すごいぞすごいぞ。
三浦さん、私もうここに通うのやめようと思います。
黒崎さんどうして。
もし三浦さんの研究がうまくいって超能力の開発技術が生まれてしまったら、また力を悪用する人たちが出てきてしまうかもしれないから、これ以上はやめた方がいいと思うの。お小遣いもいりません。
それに賛成です。僕たちなんて大したことないのに。
君たち分かった。君たちを研究するのはもうやめにしよう。しかし単純に楽しいんだ。君たちと過ごすのが。たまに友人として遊びに来てくれてもいいだろう。
Yeah.
政府は一連の事件を空想に取りつかれた犯罪集団による犯行と断定。まさか民間のエスパーに敗れて出頭とはな。
事実だ。
やれやれ、プロの立場がないな。
親父はどうなの？
普通に考えれば極刑は免れないだろうがな。
How did he save him?
機関のモルモットという可能性もあるだろう。
子供の前でそんなことを言わなくったって。
まあ決めるのは俺じゃないし、どうなるかわからないな。
社長。
レイザー、私はお前たちを心から仲間だとは思っていなかった。気に病む必要はない。お前は自分に自信がない分他人につけ込まれやすい。今度は気をつけるんだ。ジョー、お前にはもう一度母親に会わせてやりたかった。私の傲慢がつながりを引き裂いてしまった。本当にすまなかった。
いや、たまに会ってるよ、母ちゃんなら。いつも親父の近況なんか聞きたがってさ。できれば母ちゃんに親父の今を知られる前に止めたかったけど、今朝電話したら今度会いに行くってさ。だから一人で勝手に終わった気になるなよ。まだ母ちゃんに怒られる役目が残ってんだからさ。
人には人が必要。
おお、来たか。入れよ。
道に迷いました。申し訳ない。影山君、先日はどうも。ここで働くんですか。あの後レーゲンさんが誘ってくれたんだ。俺にもできることがあるって。それに組織が迷惑をかけたし、償いも兼ねて。
うちは善良な社会づくりに貢献できるからぴったりだぜ。
はい、頑張ります。
もうじき依頼人が来る。その前にこれだ。そのままじゃ仕事にならん。
He's gonna shave his head?
まあひとまず客商売できる身なりにはなったか。
客商売。お客さんが来たら俺はどう動けば。
前の会社では
とりあえず敵意を感じたら傘で殴れって指示だったんで。なんだそりゃ。
ああ、うちも大体同じ。あとは分からないことがあったら先輩に聞いてくれ。
先輩？
マブ、研修期間が終わるまでいろいろ教えてやってくれ。
よろしくお願いします、影山先輩。
よろしくお願いします。どうしよう、僕まで緊張してきた。
すいません。
ああ、どうもどうも、散らかっててすみません。そちらにおかけください。芹沢、お茶をお出しして。
お茶、すいません、入れたことが。ダメだこりゃ。
Yeah, it is one big broccoli tree, I guess. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I guess this is the end of the series. I'm gonna say that it is and just do a series review. If there happens to be more seasons, let me know in the comment section anyways. I don't know. I think this is the end of the series because it just feels like it is. I'm gonna say this off the bat, with no hesitation. I'm going to say this. Reagan is my favorite character in the show. It's not because he's funny, but he does everything that he might as well has been the main protagonist in the story. He was the most influential character. He was the funniest character. And in some ways the strongest character. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, he's the best character. I love me some Mob, don't get me wrong. But when you're talking about the entire story in its entirety, my favorite character in Mob Psycho 100 has got to be Reagan. And it's been that way since season 1. That is not just a decision that I came to right now as I finish the series. He's been my favorite character in the show because he's basically the one that carries the show, that teaches the lessons, that, you know, most of the time everything that Mobs acts on is because of Reagan's teachings and the stuff that we learn throughout the series. You know what I'm saying? People need others. You know what I'm saying? And we have been learning that since like the first episode. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that they end on that theme as well, to put it out there. So let's talk about Mob Psycho, man. Mob Psycho, this is my review for the 2 seasons that we got. As I said, I'm not entirely sure if there's more. I didn't check to see if there's more. I know there's only 2 seasons animated, so I don't know if there's more in the manga. As I said, I think somebody actually commented on one of the episodes in the first season about this, but I don't remember what the comment said. I think they said that there was only 2 episodes. Let me look for it right now. I'll just cut it out of the review. So I think it was Sebastian, one of my longtime subscribers, that actually confirmed it for me. I went back and I saw the comment where he said that there's 2 seasons, but there's also 2 OVAs as well. I'm sorry, Sebastian. I didn't cry for seasons. I did choke up. I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna front. Episode 7 was I almost choked up in episode 7 of this season. It was definitely a very touching moment there in episode 7. I think episode 7 was, if I'm not being correct here, I'm pretty sure it was episode 7 that I got choked up in. I'm pretty sure it was. You know, I'm pretty sure it was episode 7. You know, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? We get emotional for what we're supposed to get emotional for, you know, in the times. Yes, it was episode 7. I almost got choked up because it was the Reagan episode. So yeah, that was the Reagan episode. So sorry, Sebastian, I didn't outright cry about it. It was a very touching episode though. Like, I did get choked up a little bit there. I think I did mention it in my review as well for that I got a little choked up there for episode 7. Really good episode. Like, maybe one of the best episodes in the season, to be honest. I love that Reagan episode where it was just showing us, you know, who Reagan is, his history and stuff like that. And to me, Reagan is more, yes, it is called Mob Psycho 100, but to me, Reagan, in my honest opinion, is the main protagonist of the story, because he's not at the forefront, but he's the one that's driving the narrative, the lessons that was needed to be that the writer was trying to portray. All these lessons, all these life lessons, you know, through a supernatural story, teaching these life lessons. Anime does that very well, and I appreciate them for it. Now, let's talk about these 2 seasons of Mob Psycho. You guys already know that you guys already know what I do. You know what I'm saying? If you've been with me for a long time, you know I look at 3 things: audio, visual, rewatchability, and the story itself. Now, we're going to talk about rewatchability first because it's the easiest one to do. As always, I start with rewatchability. Would I watch Mob Psycho 100 again in my spare time? Just me picking it up again? Probably not. I'm being absolutely honest with you guys. There is probably a 0% chance of me watching this series again, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Right? It's not because of the story. It's not because of the visuals or anything like that. Because I will talk about those in a minute. But rewatchability, would I watch other people's reaction of certain episodes? Absolutely yes. Would I, in my just my day-to-day life, be like, oh, I feel like watching a Mob Psycho episode of, you know, I don't think I would pick this up. I would recommend it to other people that haven't watched it for sure, but I'm talking about just me, myself, and I here. Where would I take this up another time and watch this over in the next 5 years? Probably not. I might go into pick out certain episodes and, you know, rewatch at another time. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? And that's a very low percentage of that happening. You know what I'm saying? The chance of that happening is, it's almost negative. You know what I'm saying? And this is not a shot at the show. I really want you guys to understand this. So not everything is worth rewatching. Okay? It's not everything that's... Sometimes some shows... There's plenty of things that I've watched in my lifetime that I would never go back and watch. I'd just not go back and watch. Talking about... give you guys an example. I watched Justice League, the Snyder Cut. 4 hours. I'm not going to go back and watch that again. Like, it's good enough for that. I will watch other people's reaction to it, but I will never take that up again and be like, oh, I'm going to sit down for another 4 hours and watch this. Because for the most part, it was good for what it is. It was good for a one-time watch, man. You know what I'm saying? Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Avengers Endgame. I have rewatched that probably... I want to say probably about 3 or 4 times since it came out. I've watched it 3 or 4 times just to get to show you guys that it's not even about the time. It's not even about the time because Endgame is 3 hours plus, right? Snyder's Cut was 4 hours, right? So it's not even about the time that I'm complaining about or anything like that because I've watched Endgame 3 or 4 times. Endgame is a super, super entertaining movie. It is super entertaining. And I'm not saying that Justice League Snyder's Cut is not entertaining. It was a great experience. I don't know what it is about DC stuff. I just can't rewatch their stuff. I can't. I'll maybe rewatch a scene, but for some reason, their stuff is just so forgettable. And it's because they haven't really built a universe. And I think that's one of the things that's really gone wrong with the DC cinematic universe is that they haven't built anything yet. Like, none of their movies, everything that they do is basically standalone. And I think when it comes on to the Marvel cinema, I hate to be trying to, but I'm just giving you guys an example for you so you guys understand that this is not a shot at Mob Psycho. It's just, how it's being presented. I understand the lessons that Mob Psycho is teaching, and I'm going to carry that with me. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to carry that with me. I'm going to remember what it was for. You get what I'm saying? But me coming back and watching this series just not going, I don't think there is a very low percentage chance of me coming back and watching Mob Psycho. And as I said, it's not a shot at the show, because that's just me. And for me, rewatchability for me. If it's for other people, I don't know. I can't tell you that, because that's something you have to decide for yourself. Because remember, my review is completely subjective, guys. It's completely subjective. This is not an objective review for the shows that I do. It's just completely subjective to me. It's my opinion, right? Because I could give this show a 1 out of 10, and some people might give it the 9 out of 10. Just like how I believe that Naruto has the most influential points over me, and I give, as an overall series, I give Naruto a 9 out of 10. Some people don't even think it deserves a 5. Some people think that Naruto is a very mid series. So it's all personal opinion. You get what I'm saying? Objectively, you know, I think that objectively people understand certain things about shows, that, you know, it is what it is how they feel about it, right? So when it comes on to Mob Psycho, as I said, rewatchability is definitely very low. I'm not going to give it a rating. I think there's probably like maybe a 2 out of 10 chance that I will probably come back, like a 20% chance that I will come back and watch this series again. Now, it was enjoyable. It's very enjoyable. Audio visuals, very good. Not my preferred type of animation. I'm gonna be honest about that. It's not my preferred type of animation. Very, you know, flashy and kind of all over the place. People flying all over the place. It's not my preferred kind of animation overall. It's not my preferred, but I like it anyways. You get what I'm trying to say? It's the Dragon Ball-esque type of animation. People just punching each other all over the place, shooting ki blasts, and all this other stuff. It's not my preferred way of seeing animation. I love hand-to-hand combat. That is my shit. That is what I love to see. Okay? So, nonetheless, it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. We're shooting, you know, balls or whatever at each other, power energy balls at each other and stuff like that. I think a lot of the fights in season 1 was a lot better, because there was a lot of hand-to-hand stuff. This season we just got energy balls shooting at each other for the most part. There wasn't really no hands being thrown. It was more, oh, I got powers and I got powers too. You know what I'm saying? So nothing wrong with that, because these are all psychic energy kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. That's why when it comes on to Jujutsu Kaisen, I fell in love with it so fast, because it's hand to hand. They have a ton of powers that they use, but they still throw hands. You know what I'm saying? They still throw no matter what. Even the main characters out here throwing hands. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how all of that turns out, but not to bring up that. So the visuals, very nice. The way how they presented it, the power-ups were cool. Everything they did was really cool. Sometimes the animation was a little bit spotty, in my opinion. So I'm still going to give Mob Psycho visuals, as in video fidelity or video design, whatever you want to call it, special effects or whatever, right? I'm going to give it a 9, right? I'm going to give it a 9. And even though it was not my preferred way of seeing animation, especially in season 2, you know, because it's like, oh, you shoot a ki blast, I block it, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, stuff blows up around us and we're flying. You know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff, like, I'm glad that this story, it was not it was not about the fighting. You get what I'm saying? Because the fighting is just a result of, you know, psychics having powers. You know what I'm saying? That was just a result of it. Some very unexpected things happened in season 2. I didn't expect that, like, the upper echelon of Claw was gonna come back to, you know, these scars as they call themselves, and, you know, some of the upper echelons as well came back to help in the end for the final fight against the big boss. that was very surprising and very welcoming. I like that very much. They all decided to change their lives because, our boy Reagan is out here. So the visuals are really nice, man. 9 out of 10. Audio, definitely, I'm going to give the audio 10 out of 10. They played music when it needed to be played. And the tracks, the OSTs were really good. Some of them are still even ringing in my head right now as I'm talking about it. So I will give them, is it top tier OSTs? No. You know what I'm saying? It's not top tier. Some of them go really hard. The openings, you know what I'm saying? The openings were not tolerable to me. But if you guys like the opening, that's cool. But I didn't really like the openings for this series. Both of them was pretty cheesy or corny in my opinion. Like, you don't have to necessarily make it. They don't have to be talking about anything that's going on. Like, just make a banging opening and you'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? But they went with the whole countdown foolishness in season 1, and then season 2, I don't even know what that opening is about. To be honest, I didn't really read the words or whatever. So sound design during the episodes was really good, so I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10 because it fits. The power-ups, the sounds for power-ups, boss fights, power-ups, eerie music, they did what they needed to do during the episodes. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Audio, visuals, overall maybe like a 9.4 out of 10, put them together. So let's see here. Story, let's talk about the story because the story is what we're here for, right? The story, as I said, very much caught me off guard this entire time because I did not know. I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. When they said Mob Psycho, I thought this was just going to be another shonen, blah, blah, blah. But you guys keep surprising me with these series because I always think, this is just another shonen, it's modern, whatever. But it's really surprised me with the lessons, especially that was taught in this. You know what I'm saying? You have powers. You don't have to be a bully. You don't have to use your powers against other people. You don't have to. You get what I'm saying? Being in control of your emotions is more important than hurting others. You get what I'm saying? It's just those little lessons that combined in this story to make it, one of the best stories that I've consumed in just 2 seasons of anything that I've ever watched. You get what I'm saying? So I really dig the story. I really dig the lessons. I love when writers are trying to teach you something through what they're writing down. You get what I'm saying? And it's not just about, we're fighting. And that's pretty much what Dragon Ball has turned into. I dare you to challenge me on that. Because that's pretty much what Dragon Ball has turned into. It used to have story, but it's all about the fights now. It's fights, power up. What's next? What is he going to transform into next? Super Saiyan purple? Oh, let's throw another color in there. Fuchsia. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about now. And don't get me wrong. I love watching Dragon Ball nonetheless, but I understand it for what it is. Is it my preferred media to consume? By no means am I saying like I prefer that, because you guys should know by now I prefer things with substance. I will enjoy Dragon Ball for the entertainment and for what it is. I'm not throwing shots at it. I'm just saying that you still have people out here thinking that Dragon Ball has some story to tell. They don't. Okay? Throw that stuff out the window and just power scale the hell out of it, because that's pretty much all there is to say about it now. So when it comes on to Mob Psycho, they did an excellent job. 2 seasons of just lessons on top of lessons on I think the emotions, the having control over your emotions and how those things can affect you during life, even if you have superpowers. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate them going the extra mile to tell this in not so subtle ways, but kind of hard hitting to get you to understand. I think any young teenager should watch Mob Psycho, because I remember one time, you know what I'm saying, I have a nephew that, you know, he couldn't control his anger. He let his anger get the best of him, blow up against his parents, you know what I'm saying? Because he's huge. He's like, you know what I'm saying, back then, this was years ago, you know, but back then he was like 16 and he was like 6'4". You get what I'm saying? So imagine a dude that is 6'4" in a fit of rage coming at you, whether you're the parent or not. You get what I'm saying? It's not a pretty sight. You get what I'm saying? To say the least. So I had to sit him down and help him to understand that, listen, man, I used to be just like you, have this uncontrollable anger and rage over nothing. Like, literally, like I get red. You know what I'm saying? Red. Like, not like this, but you get what I'm saying. When you're angry and your skin color change, like, it's crazy. You get what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to control that, because it's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight, and you will do things that you will regret. And it's that it's just, you just don't do it. You don't want to end up in prison, you know, over stuff like that. So learning how to control your emotions is a very important thing you got to learn, especially going into adulthood, because, you know, when you're young, there's less consequences to your actions than when you get older as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to control those emotions, man. And you got to learn how to be on your own and learn how to walk away from situations and not blow up and stuff like that. And even if you have a certain kind of power, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a situation where, you know, you're stronger than a woman. You still don't hit a woman, bro. It doesn't matter how angry she makes you. You just don't do it. You control yourself and you walk away from the situation. All right. So, I love the lessons that they were teaching here, man. Reagan is definitely the MVP of Mob Psycho 100. He really brings people together. People need other people is a very essential theme that we are supposed to have in life. You see how being alone and thinking that you have so much power and you can't be touched can lead to with the final boss of this series. You know what I'm saying? What it can lead you in this state of solitude and power, and you're wielding this power and you believe you're so powerful that nobody can stop you, and all of this other stuff. And it just gets to the point where you just start to just destroy everything around you, not being mindful of what you're doing in you know, what you're destroying in your wake of destruction. You just don't care. You get what I'm saying? So this series really goes the distance, and that's why I'm still giving it a very high score, because the story really hit home. It's what it was all about, teaching you how to control your emotions and not get out of control, even if you have these outstanding superpowers and you have this power. It's kind of like you're on the top of, you're the owner of a company that basically you're making all of this money. You think you're untouchable, and you start to abuse the system. You start to do all of these offhanded stuff, and you don't care because, oh, they love me, they love my company, they just keep giving me money. I'm just gonna eat up all of that power. I'm just gonna take all that power, believe I'm untouchable, and you know what I'm saying, just do whatever I want. It happened to so many people. You're talking about power that corrupts, right? You're talking about power that corrupts. We've watched Death Note. It's the same thing. Power corrupts. You get what I'm saying? Feeling like he has this absolute power, you know what I'm saying? In Light Yagami, he just felt like he had this absolute power and he couldn't be touched. And when he was confronted, finally he was confronted to accept the consequences, he still couldn't accept that. You get what I'm saying? And he just kept lying to himself. It just, power corrupts, man. I could give you guys a real life example as well. Real life example that would be, I would give you guys Pablo Escobar. power, absolute power, thinking he's untouchable. You deal drugs, dude. Eventually, if you don't die during doing this, you're gonna end up in prison. Like, I'm pretty sure it is a very extremely little percentage of people that get out of that life alive. You get what I'm saying? Like, get out alive and not in jail. It's a very small percentage, like minuscule. Probably a freaking telescope couldn't see that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But anyways, you guys already know. I'm gonna give Mob Psycho a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because it was just that good. It was just that good to me. Subjectively speaking, it was that good. I think anybody that watched these two would enjoy it. Even if you just watching it for entertainment, you would still get that out of it. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. So yeah, that is my review for Mob Psycho 100. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me watching Mob Psycho. I definitely enjoyed watching it for sure. So thank you guys so much to be on this journey with me. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully you guys appreciated me as well. Leave a like on the video. Don't forget to comment, and I will catch you guys for the next series. I don't know what the hell that is going to be. I'm probably going to try to catch up to My Hero Academia next for my next modern anime. So we'll see, because I think season 5 is done or still going. I don't even know, but at least I can jump in and do 2 episodes per upload or something like that. I might be doing that next, but we'll see how things go. But anyways, I'll see you guys later, man. Peace.